Good morning, everyone. Welcome to The Real News. I'm your host, Tapar, and boy, have we got a show for you guys tonight. We're going to be going over the week's news. Rudy Giuliani is a cartoonist, COVID world record broken, mysterious monolith, and humans drifting into insanity. Stay tuned for live COVID-19 updates.
After the election, Trump's legal team has been melting down, literally. At a press conference earlier last week, America's mayor was seen with an odious black goop dripping down the side of his face. But hey, Rudy Giuliani has had a tough week of legal argumentation, where he explained the concept of distance on the record by reciting in detail a scene from My Cousin Vinny. And he submitted a whole lot of hearsay and conjecture, which in the words of legal giant Lionel Hutz are kinds of evidence. Speaking of cartoons, Giuliani also alleged in a press conference that several illegal ballots were submitted by Mickey Mouse himself, which is a blatant attempt to disenfranchise the Toon vote so that they can crush all opposition to building a highway through Toontown.
Thank you, Preston. In Utah, we currently have 194,000 current COVID-19 cases. In the United States, we have 13.6 million current COVID-19 cases. Back to you, Preston.
Thank you. In southern Utah this past week, a mysterious chrome monolith has appeared, prompting the worship of a pack of chimps who appeared just as mysteriously. It became a big deal for social media influencers, who already act like aliens. Several Instagrammers and TikTokers made pilgrimages to the site, hunting for an elusive alien power source known as clout.
The United States is now smashing new coronavirus records on a daily basis. For almost the entire month of November, the U.S. logged more than 100,000 new cases a day. And now, on the eve of December, we're up to nearly 13.4 million infections. One medical analyst comparing this to a natural disaster. This is happening in every state at the same time. But here's perhaps the most alarming part. More than 93,000 Americans right now are in the hospital with COVID-19. That is by far the most ever. And experts warn that the situation is going to get worse before it gets better. Americans who traveled over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend are now being urged to get tested for COVID-19. Of course, they were advertised not to travel in the first place, but about 6 million were counted in U.S. airports alone last week, not to mention those who traveled by road. Now, health officials fear that the family gatherings will mean more cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. In the weeks ahead, a leading member of the coronavirus task force is advertising to take precautions, as this Sunday was the busiest travel day of the entire Thanksgiving week. At Atlanta Airport, officials here estimated 190,000 people coming through on Sunday. That's about a third of the travelers they saw this time last year.
PragerU, which is not a university, but rather a big annoyance industry propaganda channel, has gone to war on Scottish men. Prager, in his infinite wisdom, has deemed any cloth in the shape of a tube on the lower half of men to be deriving feminine powers to the wearer, therefore destroying Western civilization. It is for this insightful discovery that he has begun waging a war against men wearing skirts, catching many cultures where men wearing skirts is practiced in the crossfire, including that of my own, the Scottish. I cannot stand this attack on my heritage, and I will personally journey to the caverns underneath Rome to trigger the Western civilization destruction button, placed there by the ancient Romans, like a reverse Indiana Jones.
And now for another COVID case update. In Utah, we currently have 195,000 current COVID-19 cases. In the United States, we currently have 13.7 million current COVID-19 cases.
In other news, several vaccines for the coronavirus have been rushed into approval by the FDA after purging the zombified, boil-ridden test subjects in their secret underground Michigan labs. But the problem with rolling out these vaccines is logistical. Therefore, the populations that need it most will receive it first, namely frontline healthcare workers and the elderly. However, one of the last populations to receive the
Breaking
vaccines
COVID
will
news.
be...
If you are currently standing, please sit down. The CDC has announced another 2-week lockdown due to 3 million COVID case spike due to the family gatherings over the Thanksgiving holiday. If someone is caught going out of their house for non-COVID reasons, they will be
And
prosecuted.
if you'll stop interrupting me, I'll go on. Anyway, children. It's children. When reached for comment to explain this methodology, the head of the CDC's inoculation task force reportedly said, because what are those little twerps going to do about it?
Every day, we drift further into chaos. With each passing second, new information is learned, whether it's scientific, artistic, dramatic, or pointless, and so on. It's still information. It's information that will not be learned in a single lifetime. With each new piece of information that is created, the average human being becomes limited in the potential of information that they could have learned. If the average human were to sit in front of a TV from the moment of birth until death, that is on average 83 years. They would not be able to watch all of the current television aired since the year 2000. Soon, as humans will not be able to learn a fraction of the information available, does this mean that humans will soon become useless due to the information that is created? More on tomorrow's episode. Back to you, Preston.
Breaking, we have sources confirming that Michigan's Upper Peninsula has in fact been annexed militarily by Canada. When contacted for comment, Ottawa's official response was, "Well, we hope you don't take this the wrong way, but what are you going to do about it? Have a civil war? Sorry about this, bucko, but no more Mr. Nice, Canada." It appears that the destabilization of our government through social media for the past 5 years was not, in fact, done by Russia. It was Canada. They were using a VPN. They've taken hold of our internal confusion after the election to start taking our land piecemeal. The only advice I have to give is to start brushing up on your bilingual English plus French.
Thank you for watching The Real News. Be sure to tune in next time as we go over Pokemon. The next insect to make the news is in the fields of Utah. A bunch of breathtaking bumbling bees will be released to spread awareness for those suffering from hepatitis B.